Hey everyone, Nate from Grower's House here, and today we're showing off a really expensive LED light. This light resells for $7,500 MSRP, and that's actually because this is a research LED light made by Heliospectra, which is a Swedish company, and they're making a light for the more average user that's going to be quite a bit less. They're shooting for, around a third or a quarter of the price of this unit to introduce into the indoor growing market. Now, we got this LED from them, which is a 600 watt unit and covers about a 4 by 4 foot area. And one of the coolest things about this light is that it can actually be connected via an Ethernet cable or wirelessly to your computer, where you can actually manipulate the software of the lamp that controls the LEDs, including the time that they're on, their intensity, and their spectrum. So this unit, as you can see here, does have 4 distinct panels along with built-in fans, and there's some venting on each side. Now, this LED light is what I would call the flagship model from Heliospectra. And a lot of the technology in this light, including all the software, is going to be used in the light that they're going to make for the indoor growing market, which they're in beta test right now, and they plan to have out around the beginning of 2014. So I wanted to show you a lot of the cool technology in this light, which will end up coming out into the new model that Heliospectra will be making in the US under the brand name Radiant LED, which you can see here. So why don't we jump into me turning this light on, messing around with some of the software, and showing you some of the cool tricks.
Now here's the Radiant logo, and here are some pictures of the unit, including the side, the front, and the back, which actually has the Ethernet plug and the power cord. And there's a closer picture of it, and here are the panels and those fans. These are some small axial fans, and then here's a close-up of one of the boards, including the chips. And this information we also have on our website, which is the UMOLs and light spectrum. So let's jump into using the software for this light. I'll open the application, which I easily downloaded on my computer. And what I do with this application is scan for what lamps are available on my network, which this light is hooked up dynamically right now, so it'll automatically locate it, and boom, I open up the software. Now it shows me the schedule, which is running. The light, that means the light is hooked up, and it's ready to go. The status is okay. And you see how I just hit the description. Each little section of the software, you can hit show or hide description, and it'll show you essentially what each parameter will be doing, and if it needs any little further explanation, which you can show and hide. And there's some cool stuff like the temperature of each one of the panels here, and showing the description just tells you that these are the temperatures of the panels. And here it's the status of all the LEDs. You can see the different nanometers, which stands for the color wavelengths that are built into the light. This one has 7, and they're all at intensity of 0. That intensity of 0 is that of 1,000, which would be full intensity. Now, if I show you the description of the tags, really this explains that you can tag each light. Say you hook up multiple lights via the software to be, whether it's your veg light, whether it's your flower light, and you can associate a value with it so that you can end up controlling your light via, a name and a value. So here's the coolest part, where you control the intensities. Now you can use these quick buttons down here, set all intensities to 0, 1,000, add them to schedule, and I'm hitting set now, where I can actually turn the light on in real time with this real time update button. And I'll be playing around with some of these different spectrums here. Like right now I'm in the 400 nanometers range, so we're talking about more of the blues. And I'm just entering in the value of 1,000, so you can see each one of these spectrums at full intensity. So I'll work my way through each one so you can see what they all look like. And you also notice that some of these color wavelengths have more LEDs associated with them, and that's usually because they're a more important LED, as Heliospectra has designed this light so that essentially the spectrum is put out with the most intensity in the spectrums that your plant will need to grow fastest and most productively. So Another cool thing I want to show you are these little tiny arrows above. If you hit the middle one, you'll go up by 10, top one up by 100, the one at the very bottom you'll go up by 1. So we're talking, you can adjust this light on the fly really quickly, and you can be very, very precise with the intensities of each one of these spectrums. One other cool thing I really want to show you is, I can mess around with these spectrums here, and you can see the light changing in real time. And if I hit lock ratio and I start moving them around, it actually keeps the ratio that I had set. So you'll notice that this one's more red dominant, higher in the wavelength to the right than the left, and I locked the ratio, brought it down. So moving on to the next, I'm going to get rid of some of these here, but this is your scheduling for the light. The scheduling is going to tell your light when to go on and at what intensities. If you see that clock on the top right, this system runs off of a 24-hour clock. So 21 is really meaning 9 p.m. Here in the U.S. And what I want to do is, let's say at 1 a.m. I want to turn all the lights on complete intensity. So I just did that, and I added that to the schedule below, which is in green. The black part is where I can start setting my schedule and then adding it. So let's say I'm running a flower schedule, and at around noon I want the lights to slowly decrease in intensity. So I put them at 800. Add that to the schedule. And let's say at around 1 p.m. I want them to decrease to 400 intensity, or about 40%. And then, let's say at 14, which would be 2 p.m., I'll have them go down to 200, which is 20% intensity. And then at 15, or 3 p.m., I'll bring everything to 0. So maybe this will actually better recreate the sun going down at night versus just having your lights go on and off. And of course, if I wanted to, I can adjust the spectrum on each one of these different anometers or wavelength spectrums. So let me go to the configuration tab really fast and show you what else we have here. You can set the time of your clock, just in case it's not right. That's pretty standard. For some of you a little more knowledgeable about computers, there's some information about custom or default NTP. And for the master slave, this is cool because our light right now is set to independent. You can have a master, which will be one light to control them all, or a slave, which can be following the master, or you can have them all be independent. And then let's jump over to some other things really fast, like in this. One thing I want to show you actually is on the information tab. It's kind of like a catch-all tab where you can kind of see what's going on with your lights. Like if I end up manipulating the spectrum here, let me mess around. I'll just do a couple random things. Let me see what kind of spectrum I should make. Maybe this one will be not that intense, but maybe I'll just get rid of the reds, so that'll be more of a veg spectrum for maybe clones. Okay, so if you come over here, you can see what the panels are at in Celsius, and then you can see that the nanometers, all the reds are done, and you can see the intensities of the other spectrums. So that's about it. That's the whole software. I mean, it's pretty awesome. You can control the light really well with this. So keep your eyes peeled for this lamp coming out. We're going to constantly be updating our website with information about it, the development of it, how it's going to be set up, the spectrums that are going to be available. But if you're interested in this, subscribe to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook, and check out our website, growershouse.com, and our blog where we post videos like this, growershouse.com/blog. This is Nate from Growers House. Have a good one.